Hello everybody, welcome back to the Hello Sim channel. Today I thought we would go through the outside building of a souk which I have put in the starter town in Sims 4, and I already built this much of the building before I thought that I would record it into a video, so you can just see how I'm finishing off the top of it. Basically, the idea for this build was twofold. Reason number one was there were all these cool architectural features that like these domed domed towers, I suppose, and also that front curved piece that I never got to use on any other builds because they weren't appropriate. So actually I thought I would create a building where I could use all of them. And then I thought a souk would be great. I live in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, and souks are very, very popular. It is the Arabic word for marketplace, so that is essentially what I'm making. I'm going to make it into a retail area with shops and maybe some places to get food and some places to socialise, but this is just the outside of the building, and I will upload this onto the Slamcat gallery on Sims 4 so that you can download it empty, or you can download it when I have installed all the furniture. I'm just finishing the back of it. Originally the back of it I was going to have it as a swimming pool because I thought of making it into some sort of community lot where almost like a Turkish baths, but it didn't fit right with the architecture of the building to have the swimming pool at the back, especially as I was going to have glass windows so that you could see the people swimming. It looked a little bit too modern for what I was trying to create. I've gone with quite a traditional idea for a souk, in that the central part of it is an enclosed room, and to get to it there are just lots and lots of open archways. Also, I imagine that it's very hot, like it is constantly in Abu Dhabi, and so a lot of the windows and archways are open to the air. It's not enclosed by glass or anything, but as The Sims 4 does not have seasons yet, that's not really a huge problem at the moment. It might be once hopefully we get seasons and snow and autumn and things like that. That's one thing that I do miss when I live out here in the UAE, is the changing of the seasons, and autumn is my favourite season and I really missed that this year, but at the same time I can go to the pool and the beach, so I'm not complaining. I just miss a couple of English treats like that. I've made it 3 levels so that the ground level is the souk, the second level is still going to be part of the souk, but I think it's also going to include some offices and maybe a kitchen, and then the very top level can either be a viewing platform or it can be the manager's office or staff room or something like that. I had a couple of different entrances at a lot of the mosques here. Obviously there are different entrances for men and women, that's a traditional idea in lots of religions. That's not really the case with souks, but I quite liked the idea of having different doors, not for different people, but just perhaps the manager had a separate door to go into, so that's why there's that closed door right here that I'm putting the lights on. It's not entirely 100% symmetrical. It's slightly off to one side, which I didn't realise until halfway through building it, and I tried to alter it so that it was symmetrical, but in the end I just left it and thought hopefully it wouldn't be too annoying. It didn't annoy me too much, and I quite liked that one side had to be slightly different from the other. So I'm just creating a couple of different entrances and exits at the moment, and then I'm going to add in some water down the sides to try and keep the place cool. You can see that central atrium part now that I'm going to start adding the stairs to get into the upper part of the building, and then I'm going to add the archways in a moment. So I just make the whole thing completely open. Now if you were to do this, if you were to download the empty souk, you could make just this into a swimming pool area. You could have a barbecue area and it could just be a social. That's another idea that I had, which I was almost about to do. I really did toy with the idea of just making it into a kind of Turkish baths, but I think I am going to make it into a retail area, I think. I'm just creating some little areas here that I can make into toilets downstairs, and I did a kind of girls and boys toilets, and then there's also going to be here on the left and right where I'm just putting the arches is going to be a men and women's kind of sitting area. A lot of the reasons why there's men and women's areas out here is because obviously women have to keep their hair covered, or choose to keep their hair covered, and if they need to check their hair or do anything and take their headscarves off, then they need a private area to do that. I'm just creating a small fountain area here. I thought I could use the fountain tool, but actually I had to use the swimming pool tool because I didn't realise that because there is a balcony directly above it, you can't put a fountain underneath. It has to be in a completely open area with nothing above it, which I didn't realise. So I'm just creating a little social area there and adding in some Arabic, Turkish style pillars and embellishments here and there. I think the whole thing looks very Arabic with the white walls, the sand coloured paints and the terracotta tiles. It is very sandy here, it is very beige to keep everything as cool as possible. And then I'm just tiling the inside flooring, and I do the walls all the same colour. So I just really enjoyed this build because it gave me the opportunity to use all of the cool features that I've never had chance to use yet, including some of the tiles that just didn't fit in with anything else that I've done so far. So I really enjoyed that part of it. I'm just popping in the doors for what will be bathrooms. And then I'll pop in some tiles and some lights, but like I said, I haven't furnished this yet. It will just be on the Sims gallery empty, and then you can furnish it to yourself. This is the upper level now, and I really struggle with getting rid of the flooring in this area. Do you see how it leaves a tiny little line there? I don't know how you get rid of that, so if anybody watches this video and finds this dark corner of the internet, if you could tell me how to do that, because I'm still learning how to build in this game. I was never a huge builder in Sims 3. I liked doing it, but I never really thought that much about it, but I've really enjoyed learning how to do it in Sims 4. So if you could tell me how I could do that, that would be fantastic. I'm just creating as many little rooms up here as possible. I think I'm going to create some small libraries. Like I said, one of them is probably going to be an office, which is why I gave them proper doors for privacy, or it could be a kitchen or staff room area. And then I'm putting in some tiny windows. One side is wider than the other because I'm going to have tables there as if it's still part of the souk. It might just be a more VIP area or slightly more expensive. And then I've got this cool little balcony out here that goes straight onto the roof, which I really like. So I didn't put any fencing or anything, but I thought it's kind of cool that people can walk out there and look over the rooftop. That tiny line above the staircase is really annoying. The top levels of souks are normally wooden floors, so I did the same. I just made wooden floors, but I tiled the two office libraries, and then I made the very top floor in a moment, which is very small, but I think it actually has its own balcony as well. Yes, it does, where you can go out behind that cool, I don't know what it's called, balustrade? No, that's definitely the wrong thing. I'm just adding in some stuff to kind of disguise the edge of the pool here, but I thought that that didn't look quite fancy enough. So I changed it for some more appropriate foliage. It's very difficult here to grow anything. A lot of water is used to grow. It's desalinated salt water that comes through the taps, so sometimes it can taste quite chemically. So a lot of the time we drink bottled water out here. And adding in some fancy detailing to the fountains. I'm trying to make sure that I have finished it to the highest standard, as that is generally how things are done out here. Very, very posh, very finished. And I quite like how it sits on its own. Actually, the next lot is by Deligracy. She has a YouTube channel and she's also on the Sims 4 gallery, and I downloaded her church that she made. I think it's the Barbie church or something like that. So that's the next lot that you can see. That's not mine. I didn't make that. I'm very quiet today. I can already tell that I'm very quiet, but I'm very, very tired. I had an incredibly long week, and I've got an incredibly long week next week as well. So I'm just trying to enjoy my Saturday morning. We work Sunday to Thursday here, so I have Friday and Saturday off, and then I'm back in tomorrow with a nice 5 AM alarm, so that's good. Really looking forward to that. Just adding in the last bits of plants. Like I said, I'm trying to make sure that the whole thing looks really, really finished, and then I'm checking it day and night. And then here are the finished shots, so from different angles and at different times of the day. Here is if you look inside from the front entrance, and this next one is inside the actual market hall, and then the upstairs photographs coming up now. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. A thumbs up if you found this channel and quite enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!